Hey, soul family. It's Crystal, Demon Slayer 144. Had a good day today. Everything's going really well. Wanted to talk a little bit more about the topic. I just did my nails, so you'll see me doing this. Wanted to talk a little bit more about the video I shot yesterday dealing with witchcraft and co-creation. So I wanted to delve a little bit more into how to protect yourself from witchcraft. I had mentioned in my last video that when I was initiated into Santeria and Palo, my madrina, who did a lot of spell work for people who would pay her, primarily for love spells and stuff like that, I was asking her, why does it even work? I don't, because I always thought that was something you didn't do. Like when people came and said, I want to be with this person and I want you to take them away from their wife or girlfriend or partner and make it so that I can be with them. And she was telling me about holes. The reason that she believed that her witchcraft worked was because people had holes in their aura. And the holes she described to be like low self-esteem, low self-worth, no self-love, addictions, depression, anything that lowers your inner resilience, your inner strength. Oh, and by the way, I remember the Orisha, the Palo Orisha that my child was scratched, which is initiation in Palo, under. It was Zarabanda. I think that's how you say it, Zarabanda. Yeah. Which is in Santeria and Ifa is Ogun. Anyway, so she was talking about these holes. And she was saying that, if people are self-resilient, if they have that inner strength, then they're less susceptible to the witchcraft. And she was really good. I mean, she had a reputation in the area for the spell work that she did. So where do I start? So the first thing I want to say is, when I was growing up, my mom, who didn't believe, even though she was initiated in Ifa in Africa, but she just didn't believe, like, for instance, when she was growing up, she didn't believe in all that spell work and witchcraft and anything like that. She used to tell me that her grandmother didn't believe in it either, because her grandmother would always tell her, which is my great-grandmother, her grandmother would tell her, if you don't believe in it, it can't hurt you. But there was a neighbor who would always steal vegetables from her garden. So Mama said that Nanny, we called her Nanny, my great-grandmother, Nanny would take flour and sprinkle it over the vegetables. And the neighbor who was stealing her vegetables, she found out that the neighbor thought that my grandmother was hoodooing the vegetables, and so she stopped taking them. So I think there are a lot of people who can tell you of experiences that they've had with hoodoos and poleros and santeras and witches and warlocks that have put spells on them, done witchcraft, or they call it black magic, toward them to affect their lives and make them sick or make them confused or bind up their good luck or make them have accidents and all that kind of stuff. People could tell you stories. I remember that I used to have a friend who from her family comes from Puerto Rico. And this friend would, like, she'd be talking to me, and then all of a sudden her voice would change and her whole countenance would change. And she, come to find out, she was channeling in her aunt who lived in Puerto Rico. And I've talked to her aunt on the phone before. And I'm telling you, the voice that came out of my friend was the aunt. And she would tell me things that she shouldn't have known. She should not have known. And she would say stuff like, this person is going to come over your house in 5 minutes and they're not carrying good energy. You need to do X, Y, Z. Sure enough, that person would come over in 5 minutes. I remember once she said, you need to do a certain spell because somebody that you know is going to betray you, and you need to protect yourself, and you need to do this certain spell. And I said, oh, okay. Didn't pay any attention. And come to find out, another friend actually betrayed me. And I always wondered how she knew, and if I would have done the spell, would that have made things change? I mean, it was uncanny, even to the point of where my friend was staying in my house, because I had 2 houses. And, before the crash, the big housing crash of 2008. And the aunt channeled through and said, if my niece leaves your house, you're never going to be able to sell it, and you're going to lose it. And I didn't pay attention to it because her daughter, my friend, her niece, my friend, she had to go. Things just were not working out, and she had to go. She left. The house didn't sell, and I lost it in foreclosure. Now, it was 2008. Would that have happened naturally anyway? Or did her niece leaving have something to do with it? Who knows? Who knows? I'm saying that there are things that we can't understand that happen. And I will give that all types of validity. People know how to manipulate energies. Everything is energy. And people know how to manipulate energies to get what they want. And I am a firm believer, like the lady who was my madrina said, I'm a firm believer that if you have holes in your being, in your energy field, in your aura, then you are more susceptible to a person manipulating energies that can affect you. I am also a firm believer that the greatest power that you have against any type of witchcraft is the power within yourself, your own inner strength. So, for instance, there's some, I hear it. I mean, I used to be a Christian. I used to be a Muslim. All kind of stuff. And there's some Psalm 91 or something, and I can't really remember how it goes. You guys probably know it better than I do. Something about let no weapon be used against me in evil, or something like that. Something like that. Now, Absolutely. Because the power is within you. Why? Because the divine force, God, runs through you. And the problem is we don't know that enough. We haven't been taught that enough. We've been taught that in order to protect ourselves against things like witchcraft, we need a counter spell, or we need to go pay somebody to do something to help us out, or we need to, pay somebody for candles, protection candles, or whatever. Now, if that helps you, if you really feel like that helps me, and that's really as far as I want to take that, is, I've had good luck with people's protection spells and people's protection candles and, whatever else you pay people to do. That's fine if you want to stick with it. I'm trying to give you an alternative. I'm saying you don't have to do that at all, because you have the power within you. You have the same power within you that the person has who's doing the protection spell, who you're paying to do protection spells. You have the same power within you. What you have to do is acknowledge it. You have to say, you know what? Let me check myself. Let me check my aura to make sure I don't have any holes, because I'm calling in the divine through me for all my protection, because you have access. All you have to do is know it. You have access to the power of your ancestral lineage. You have the power of angels. You have the power of nature forces. In the African religion, Ifa, Santeria, they're called Orisha. In Voodoo, they're Loa. But you have access to those, and you don't even have to be involved in any of those religions to have access. You would be surprised, because I was, of how many people, when I was in Ifa and Palo and Santeria, you would be surprised at how many people would say, oh, I'm a child of Elegua. I'm a daughter of Oshun. I'm a child of Shango, and they were never initiated. And I have seen the Orishas work for them, and they have never been initiated. I have been present at readings for people, and the Babalao or the Santero or the Ifania, they would be like, oh, you don't have anything to worry about, because Yamaya favors you. These people were and will fight for you. Never been initiated. So in my experience, you can call on the ocean spirit, the ocean element, Yamaya, or just call her the ocean element. You can call on the strength of the mountains, known as Obatala. You can call on Elegua, the divine trickster and the messenger, the one who opens the roads when you need roads open. You can call on them. Now, when I call on them, just because of my past, my upbringing, my initiations, I like to put an offering. Like if I call on Yamanya, the ocean, for wealth or, help with any type of problem, deep knowledge or something like that. Issues with children. I I don't mind going to the ocean, or if you don't live near ocean, the biggest body of water you can, and throwing in some watermelon, or, you know, some, what is it, meal, like white cornmeal, yellow cornmeal, and molasses, because that's just what I was taught to do. You don't have to do that, but you can still call on that power. For El Igua, the road opener, to open the road, unblock roads, I like to throw some candy at a crossroads, or, you know, some liquor, some rum or something like that. But that's just what I was taught to do. You don't have to do that, because I have seen children, uninitiated children of El Igua, do nothing, but they knew they were children of El Igua, and El Igua always came to their rescue, always answered their call. And they would get downloads and messages from El Igua. I was shocked. I really was shocked, because I thought in order to interact with these orishas, you had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to somebody to get, you know, the divination, to know what to do, and then whatever you're supposed to do, whatever offering you're supposed to make or whatever, that was the only way to do it, and it's not. It's just not. Now, that's my experience. Now, if you are initiated and you're in an Ile or a house or something like that, I'm not telling you not to do that, because obviously it's working for you. But I'm saying, if you choose not to do it, but you still choose to access these powers, I have seen it done, and I have done it myself. And you could do it too. I'm just saying. Why? Because all is connected to the Most High. All is one, and it all runs through you. You see, we have this divine power because we are co-creators. And the demons, the archons, and this is all talked about in Gnostic Christianity, which was the Christianity that was taught before Emperor Constantine in 340 or 370 AD, got together the group of Christians that he liked what they were saying. He liked the Christianity they were teaching, because it supported his turning Christianity into yet another emperorship. And now, instead of an emperor, now you have a pope. Okay? So there was still that form of control. But see, everything that was true, the truth, that didn't support this version of Christianity that he was teaching or creating, you know, oh, that's blasphemy. Oh, that's heresy, and punishable by death. So Gnostic Christianity just went underground. I believe that the Gnostic Christianity was the Christianity that Jesus really taught, but then, you know, this is all for another video. Anyway, what I'm saying is, the true Christianity taught that the kingdom of heaven, God, source, is within you. And you don't need to go to someone or go to a church or a temple or whatever to access that power. You have that within you. And, you know, angels and elementals, everything, ancestors, all part of your spiritual team. All you have to do is call on them. And the best thing to do, like starting now, is to call on them and help you identify any holes in your aura. And holes in your aura are basically weaknesses. And what does that look like? So for some people, it could be, like I say, addiction, low self-esteem, low self-worth, fear and anxiety. That was huge for me. Fear and anxiety. My spiritual team source to strengthen my aura had me work on fear. And because I was fearful all the time. There was always something in the world to worry about. I grew up fearful based on, being bullied when I was younger. My home life was full of fear, having a very dominant mom and a very alcoholic dad. I was just fear-based. And so if I was afraid of something, I would pretty much give in to the fear, until I learned that who I truly am is not fearful. Now, there may be a truly dangerous situation that may cause me fear in the moment, to alert me of a dangerous situation that I need to avoid, or I need to put boundaries around, or something like that. But ongoing fear of anything, that's not you. That's not who you really is. That's not me. I learned that's not me. That is, that's the demons. That is the demons. That's the demons using my voice telling me, oh, if you do that, people won't like you. If you say this, people won't like you. Look at you. You can't do this, that, and the other. You need to stay safe because blah, blah, blah. There's going to be a nuclear war. I mean, anything. Your child isn't safe. They will say anything to get you. And if you if you stay stuck in that fear and anxiety, it opens up the hole. And see, people, especially people who do witchcraft, the dark, not good witchcraft, but the bad witchcraft, they have developed they have developed their sixth sense. Now, everybody has it. Their sensitivity to people's energies, so they can read people's energies, and they've learned to do it through divination. They've learned to just tap into that part of them that can do it. And even people who don't really like you and have an agenda, and they'll even pretend it, and they'll talk to you, and they will just listen. They won't say a whole lot, but they'll listen to everything you say because they want to figure out what your tell is. Like, what's your fear? What's your weakness? Even if your weakness is ego, like you have to constantly have your ego stroked or something, that's a hole. If you're fearful, you got to have your ego stroked. You're insecure. You're jealous. You hate somebody. Any negative emotion that you're attached to, they will use that. And what they'll do is they'll do some kind of spell. If they're into the witchcraft, the bad witchcraft, they'll do some kind of spell to attack that part of you. So if you're fearful, you're going to even be more fearful, to the point of where you'll feel terrified, especially if it's something that they don't want you to do. You'll feel terrified to do it. Let's say somebody wants to take your man or take your woman, and they can see that you have an ego issue, or you're overbearing or insecure. They will tap into that and make it so you get thoughts like, oh, I know she's cheating on me. Or, does he really love me? He's just playing, whatever, to make you act up. Excuse me. To where who you're with will be like, what is going on? Make you suspicious, make you paranoid. So the best defense is to ask the divine to show you the truth about your holes, your weaknesses, the things you're stuck on. And then what'll happen is the divine will send you instances, give you insight and send you instances to strengthen it. Strengthen it. May send you situations that will trigger these emotions: fear, anger, jealousy, envy, low self-esteem, whatever it is, so that when these situations happen, you're aware, like your eyes are open and you're like, oh, okay. See, that's a trigger for me. But you know what? I'm going to make the conscious choice not to react in this way. I'm going to be this way. I'm going to ignore it, or I'm going to be peaceful. I'm going to stay in my peace. You know, my own. So that way you develop your own inner strength. And that's your defenses. Now, keep in mind, I always ask my spirit guides, my angels, my ancestors to protect me, because, you know, there may be some spell work that's coming that, you know, maybe somebody is advanced enough to cause you to not see something that may make you have an accident or something like that. Whatever is outside that I, in the moment, can't control, well, my guides, ancestors, angels, they got that. They'll take care of that. What I need to do is I need to focus on, how's my thought process? What am I thinking right now? Are my thoughts positive and peaceful? Because if they're not, I need to figure out why. Because my natural state of being is not anxiety and fear and anger and envy, lust, all that. That's not my natural state of being. My baseline is peace. So if somebody, whether it be witchcraft or the evil demons that try to control us so that we, you know, exude these emotions and you know, tap into all this weakness and make them bigger so they can feed off of them. No matter where that's coming from, that's going to be addressed. And I'm also going to, when I check out what my thoughts are, am I thinking in scarcity? Am I thinking in lack? Am I thinking something that's making me anxious? Am I thinking of something that's making me mad? And then I'm going to check my emotions. I could be walking the dog and I just check in. How am I feeling? Like, because see, my energy center where I feel like the most emotions is in my chest. So I'm always checking, how am I feeling? Like in my chest or my stomach. Sometimes it's in the back of my neck. And if things not right, I'm going to look at it. And see, here's the thing. You don't even have to figure out, well, oh, I'm feeling scared right now. I mean, sure, you should say, well, why? Because you want to know, what is this about? Because when you get down to it, let's say, why am I upset? And then you really kind of think about it. It's like, oh, because I was driving earlier this morning. Somebody, you know, switched lanes in front of me and almost ran me off the road. Well, if you didn't let that go, if you didn't process that through, yeah, you're still going to be affected by it. And things, whatever else happens after that in your day is just going to pile on top of it and make it worse. And then that hole gets bigger. Let's say, you know, you're feeling this weird thing in your chest, or you're thinking like, yeah, what was I thinking about? Oh, I remember that time when my father beat my mom up. You know, I had a flashback. Okay, so if you keep having these flashbacks, because every time you have a flashback, which is usually PTSD, when you have a flashback, it takes you to that place, and it's just like it's happening again. And so the main thing to do, and this is so very important, if you don't hear anything else, hear this. You have got to stay present, because if you can stay present, then it helps you stay grounded. Now, people say, oh, well, you know, if you want to be grounded, walk on the earth and connect with the earth, and all that's valid. All that's valid. You could do all that. You could wear onyx. You could wear tourmaline, black tourmaline. You could do all these grounding exercises. But the main thing, be present. Don't have your mind wandering in the past about what happened when he left me or she said this or that happened. Because first of all, the past is dead. The past is gone. There's nothing you can do about that. Don't have your mind in the future. Well, I can't wait till this happens. I mean, you can be excited about something and you can even imagine things, good things, daydream and stuff like that, because that's part of co-creation. Your imagination is co-creation, is the aspect of co-creation. But if you stay in the future, like, oh, I wish things were better. I wish I was doing, and just stay stuck in the future. I can't wait for this to happen. When is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Then you're opening yourself up to attack, because your protection, all your protection, first of all, the future's not here yet. And the future's not promised, except for when you're co-creating. But then you don't have to keep worrying about it and staying stuck there, because you already know this good thing that I'm co-creating is going to happen. I have the faith and the trust is going to happen. It's like something coming to you from Etsy or something. I know it's in the mail. I ordered it and paid for it. It's already in the mail. But to stay stuck in the future, in the past, leaves you vulnerable to anything, any witchcraft or anything the demons may do, because the present is not only where you really are, but it's where everything is where God is, it's where source is, it's where your spirit team is in the present. Plus the fact, when source or your spirit guides, elementals, whatever, they want to give you a message and tell you something, they speak through omens. They speak through birds, cloud formations, something you heard in a song, a license plate that went by, a sign you saw on the side of the road, or a thought. But if you're stuck in the past or the future, if you're not present, you're going to miss that information. And that information could be what you need in that moment for your protection. So give that a thought. Give it all a thought. And I invite you to try it out. Because, if you want to do spell work to protect yourself, the moon phases and candle magic and working with whatever, or even paying somebody, you can do that if you want to, if you feel that helps you, whatever makes you feel secure. I'm just informing you that you can do this all yourself. And you're more powerful for you than anybody on this planet. You have the power of the divine within you. We are co-creators. And that information was kept from us because the demons who don't have the spark of God, of the divine, of source in them, they can't co-create. They can't create. But they've created this matrix of illusion with all these systems and organizations and all this other crap that is false, but we've been conditioned to believe it and to live in it. I would advise you to tap into your own power, because you have it like that. We all do. All right? All right. So until next time.